And there we are. We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I am, of course, Stopher Caven's psychic medium. And look who I found.
You
Linda
found me
G.
on the
Welcome.
streets.
I found her in the streets of California. How are you doing, Linda? Welcome to the
Good, good.
channel.
I just got done with our favorite psychic, Sterling. I just did our Sunday morning bit,
Nice. How did it go?
and it went real good. You know, he's on it.
I love it.
And then today's my nephew. Well, it's not actually his actual birthday, but him and my two sons, they like to do birthday parties for themselves, just the three of them. And they eat and they play games, and they're grown men. They're all. Jeffrey is the youngest. He's 27, I think. And
Is that your son?
Jake is 30. Scott is 30. My babies are older.
Nice. Mine are too. I have adult children.
Okay.
And grandchildren, and it's like the coolest thing.
My grandson is 9, and he's such a personality. He wants to be a successful YouTuber.
Like his grandma.
And then, he has this YouTube show, and he's like, okay, oh, yeah.
We got to start somewhere, right?
Got to start somewhere.
I love it. I love it. He'll be great. All right, my dear.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, hi, everyone. We got 250 folks on my end here in the studio. So thank you all for being here. And Linda, I want to say thank you for introducing me to so many fantastic people. I was on your channel, I think it was June 4th. And wow, they all rushed to my website and it's been really great. And I've met some fantastic people. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, so, well, you were good. A lot of people commented that they thought you were good. Do you read paid readings?
Yeah.
So did you get booked or?
I did. I did get booked. You know, it was funny because to that point, and I think I mentioned it on June 4th when we met, I was very transactional because I have a very good presence on Google and LA and all that. And so a lot of my business coming in was very much like day to day. I was staying pretty busy and I keep a full-time job. So I had my calendar quite open so that people had, were able to choose when they wanted, so I didn't miss any potential appointments. So the floodgates had opened, and so I got quite busy. So I was able to.
You gotta look out for yourself, yes, because I opened up. I knew it would be my last year. Kind of told everybody it's going to be my last year, and boom, I booked up the whole year, 12 months in advance. So,
wow.
And nobody asked for their money back or they're tired of waiting. Nothing. Everybody waited for their appointment.
Oh, yeah. Well, they will for somebody good, somebody that they trust.
Oh, thank you. Right now, I have no plans to do personal readings again. I maybe even next year, but I think I found a title for my book today, so I'm very excited about that.
Sweet. You're not ready to share that yet, right?
I don't think so. Well, I think I could share it. Because if it's on camera, you can't steal it because you could say, I had it first. What did I say? Hold on. There's several names that came up. My son helped me. So, From Shadows to Light, a journey as a Comanche psychic medium, surviving cancer and YouTube success.
Yeah, I like that. That's everything.
Whispers of Resilience, my life as a psychic medium, triumph over cancer and YouTube success. I don't have to bring up YouTube, but by the by. Beyond the Veil, healing, mediumship, and my path to triumph, an autobiography. I think I should mention the Comanche part because that kind of makes me unique. Because my gift comes from my tribe, even though I wasn't living on a reservation. My mom was born in a house on a reservation, so yeah, I saw the strife and the heartaches that came with the tribe. But I was in California living with my half-white dad and my mom, who didn't even speak Spanish in the house, and yet that was her first language.
Interesting.
She got very and then sit there drinking the fire water and say, I ain't going to eat this white man's food.
Right. Everybody's saying the third one, or a combination of the third one and the first one.
Oh, okay.
I see a lot of people, and everybody says keep Comanche.
Keep the Comanche in it. Thank you.
Yeah, and as a marketer, I always tell because I work with real estate agents a lot, and kind of branding and that type of thing. I always tell them whatever your secret sauce is, whatever is individual or unique to you, lean into that. So I think that could be your secret sauce. So you want to definitely bring that forward.
Yeah. Having a name for the book has actually given me more energy focused on the book. So that's good. My guides, they told me not to worry. They said it'll happen. So I said, okay.
For sure. And this
a lot
is
of people will write a book for 8-9 years, Mine has been going on 5 years. So.
Nice. And this is your first book?
Oh, yeah. A lot of psychics said it's not my last book.
Yeah, I agree with
But
that.
I haven't even written the first one yet. I don't know what I'd say on the second one.
I'm sure it will come to you. Spirit will show you. All right, so you got the first part of the book started. You've got some events coming up, right?
San Francisco with Kevin Lewis and Mel. And the three of us are going to be at the Women's Center in San Francisco. It's already sold out. We can only sell 50 tickets. I made sure I'm paying for lunch on Monday, so everybody has a nice sandwich and chips and stuff. My most important thing is serving food. I know that's crazy, but I love serving food. So that event, and then Kim at Intuitive View and Debbie and Andrea, the girl gang there, invited me to come to Utah and to speak at their event, and I don't have to do no readings. I'm just speaking for 2 hours. People will probably want their money back, but
I got it.
I can go on for 2 hours. I got no problem with that. But everybody might be asleep by the time I'm done.
I doubt that. So is the Utah? And I know you're not heading up that event, but is that?
That's in. Actually, I come back on right before Halloweeny. So that's the very end of October.
Nice.
And then I'm having an event in Benicia, which hasn't been posted yet, with Tana. She's coming out here to help me publish my book. And then we're going to do an event at my old stomping grounds, Angel Heart for You. That will only be 50 people too. So that'll probably sell out pretty fast.
You're busy. Staying busy. I love it.
Yeah. How about you? Anything coming up?
I'm kind of winding down a little bit. Like I say, after hanging out with you in June, I got super, super busy. So I'm actually looking forward to a little bit of a reprieve.
Yes, because it does take a lot of energy, my friend.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining. I feel so blessed to connect it with everybody. But yeah, I'm probably gonna take some time, and I got to go see my grandchildren and my parents in Indiana, where I'm originally from. So.
What town are you living, or what state are you living in now?
I live in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I might pop up to San Francisco that weekend that you're there. Because Kevin was also asking how far I am from San Fran.
Yeah. Oh, you might come up and just say hi.
Yeah, it's like the flight is like an hour and a half, and it's like $100 round trip.
Oh, and you know what? I got to tell all my people. Some people are coming from out of town.
Yeah,
and the Union Square Hilton is like $200 a night.
That's not bad.
You know what? San Francisco is desperate for tourists, especially that time of year.
Yeah,
you can get a good price on a hotel.
Yeah, San Francisco's not cheap, and then it's been a while since I've been there. So,
yeah, well, you could hang out with the guys. You could hang out. Well, we'll see what Kevin and Mel say, but the guy who's handling my event, his name's Mark Rhodes. He's sort of the concierge of the gay community in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. He has events. He's an event holder. He also oversees a lot of people. It doesn't have to be gay, straight or gay, but he's taking the boys out to the Castro and stuff and introducing them. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Okay. Well, you'd have to go with Mark and the guys. So
nice.
I'm going home that night. So, because I have my sister and Vinny, and another friend her name's Mariana. She's lives near my sister. She's coming too.
Fun. And you're not too far from there, right? You're in that area.
Yeah, I'm in Northern California. I'm in Sonoma County.
Beautiful.
So, with traffic, it can take an hour and a half to get into San Francisco. But without traffic, it can be clear sailing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a few questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Just don't ask my weight. I will not answer about my weight.
No, I would never. I'm sure I apologize if you've been asked this before or talked to about it before, but I was curious because I know you do a lot of political readings and you get a lot of information from Spirit about political stuff. When and how did that kind of come into your onto your radar?
The political thing?
Yeah.
Well, we met. Okay, so you don't know probably that I fought cancer.
I do know, yeah,
and
a little bit about
I had an event which will be in my book, an overwhelming event, and my connection to Source got a lot stronger. And then one day, I'm minding my own beeswax. I had been on a friend of mine's show. She's one of the first YouTubers that came up with like talking to the dead and stuff. Kirsten Langston, Third Eye Champagne. And I'd go over her house and film, and she had all these fancy lights, and she did herself real pretty. And I'm like, oh God, I couldn't do this. Too much work. So then one day I'm standing in my bedroom, and that man that talks to me in my right ear said, "You're going to do a YouTube video." And I cringed. I said, "Oh, I don't want to get up and brush my hair." And he said, "Linda, you will help calm people down." I didn't choose the political, they did. Because then I just sat in front of a camera, not knowing how to do YouTube, not knowing what the hell I was doing. I had to ask my son. I didn't even know you could monetize YouTube. And they would give me information to tell everybody. And a lot of it was, don't worry that this guy Trump is getting ready to go. And then I noticed a lot of the stuff I'd say politically seemed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did lose. And he's going to lose again. Now, I just talked to Sterling, and Sterling said he will be the Republican nominee. I'm kind of on the fence about that because there's so much crap falling on him, but I could see everybody defending him, but he's not going to win.
Do you get a hit? And I don't normally read politically, but I do get hits. And I just do that. I just stay away from the politics just because it's affected me a lot in the past. So I try not to bring that into my energy. But do you get that he's going to actually go to the point of the election?
Yeah, but he's in huge trouble with January 6th for sedition.
Yeah.
Maybe if he does get put in, they figure out beyond a reasonable doubt. He's got big trouble coming up. But even if he didn't have that trouble, he's going to lose because he's not presenting anything to the United States. He's not saying these are the things I'm going to do for you. All he talks about is what great job he did, which he didn't. And all he talks about is wanting to hurt the DOJ, the FBI. Regular Americans don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And there's no two-tiered system. All those people that got hit, Roger Stone, what's that? The big guys, Bannon, Munchkin or Manson or whatever his name was. All those people got hit by appointed Trump DOJ, Barr or whoever was in. So how can you call it a two-tiered system?
It's not, because he's a liar.
Yeah.
He also says he doesn't know what a blizzard is at Dairy Queen. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Did you see
Manafort.
that?
Yeah, Connie said Manafort. That's who I meant.
I like Munchkin better.
Munchkin is actually the guy that went with Jared to Saudi Arabia and got all that money. That's who I mean when I say Munchkin. Bootylicious is my guy,
I love it. In addition to like politics, because I like I say, I try to stay out of the politics area of it, but I am passionate about like issues. What are some like the issues that are like most near and dear to your heart?
The issue is to get this sickness that's going on because of the Trump situation. It's terrible.
So you just
We
think it's
will come to
black
peace,
cloud.
and this too shall pass. And my guide showed me even the Republicans will be jumping ship because something's coming, something bad, even more ugly is coming. So it's just really hard. This is all as prophesized, and we are all in shock that regular, like I've told everybody, Lincoln said, a house divided cannot stand. And how can we be a strong America if you've got people talking about getting their AKs and taking care of people? It's like, who do you think you're fighting? Why would you want to go there? Because God forbid, it's not like the Confederates and the Union. No, this is tanks and jets and intel that will go in and destroy cells. They have no clue who they're messing with. And you start hurting regular Americans, we're on it.
Yeah, it's scary. I tell you, the thing, my big issue that I'm really passionate about is, and one of the reasons that 45, as we'll call him, I don't even like saying his name, kind of irked me straight out the gate was I'm big on like immigration, and specifically with Mexico, and I just hated the way he spoke about those things and then riled that up in people. Because I mean, my husband he was born in Mexico, and he had friends and family, and I've got friends and family that came here in very different ways,
Yeah.
and not all 100% legal, and I they're such great people, and it's like, and we lose, and I feel like when we talk about them, Mexico sending their worst and that kind of thing, it's like we dehumanize the people, and it really just affected me to the point where I was like, I would cry.
Yeah.
And people, and people from where I'm from in Indiana that don't really deal with that kind, they don't deal with the border, but they would get so upset and have these horrible reactions to things, and it was just, I just saw what it was doing to us, and our, we just dismiss people just because they're different.
Yeah, and my mom is half Mexican and half Comanche. So my kinfolk, the Tarabas and the Robles and all of them, the Robles were from San Angelo, Texas. But San Angelo used to belong to Mexico.
Yeah, so did California.
Yeah. So I tell you, I love the Hispanic culture because the best times when I was young was my tias and everybody coming over. My mom could speak fluent Spanish, and she didn't speak it in the house, and none of my cousins can speak it either. Because they got where, even in my birth certificate, it says my mom is white and I'm white. There's no white there on her side.
Right. And you don't speak Spanish?
No. A poquito más, but when I worked labor and delivery, no pude, señora. But I could, if my mom had spoke Spanish to us when we were young, oh my God, it would have been fantastic. Because as a bilingual nurse,
yeah.
Sometimes I was so desperate to communicate. I knew dolor aquí, and don't push, no puje, señora. But that's, I probably knew a little bit more because I worked in the environment. But look at what Florida's doing. They're saying if you're immigrated or you can't come, and it's like they got nobody there to work anything. They're desperate. Because I'll tell you, Mexicans are hard workers.
Yeah, and they're just fantastic people. And of course, like any people, there's different so we'll call it a spectrum. But I just hate when people get so angry, or they have so much hatred against people that are just here trying to do their best and raise their children, and raising beautiful children. And
listen, by the way, Sterling and I got a hit today. Well, Sterling's had it, but we're definitely going to see DACA come through. I've been saying that for a while, but it will come through.
On what is that?
DACA will come through.
I was just researching DACA the other day.
Yeah, it'll come through. It might be. It might be right. Right as Biden takes over again.
Yeah, these are Americans. To me, these are Americans. It's so ridiculous that we're even having the conversation about DACA.
Listen, here's the hard part about being psychic. Sometimes someone will ask you a question and it says yes. And will DACA go through? Yes. It's just the problem is time frames.
Mm-hmm.
So people will lose faith and say, well, you said it was coming through. That's why it's not good to say time frames. Yes, I see it coming through. Just like I saw all the Republicans jumping ship like a bunch of rats. That's about ready to happen. And let me tell you why Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz and Holly and Goober and all those people are talking out loud, because they're all in trouble. They're all in trouble.
Gates, what a mess. Okay, well, let's move on from that. I'd love to hear real quick if you have any stories. I had Jeffrey Peck on a few weeks ago, and he was telling a story about how he was just couldn't deny how spirits led him in a certain way. And I've had different things in my life where it's like all these coincidences and synchronicities happen where you cannot deny, that spirit is showing you a path, whether it's to something just simple. Like one time I had a dog that I had pass away that led me to my next dog, and I couldn't deny how coincidental it was.
Yeah. Everybody has stories like that, by the way.
I know. I just love to hear them. I didn't know if you maybe had a story or something.
Well, my story will be in the book, but mine was cancer. Cancer led me here. Breast cancer, and I was walking down a path, walking my dog Moochie at the time, and I was begging for my life because my kids were still young, and their dad was an alcoholic, and I knew he wouldn't have been able to take care of them.
Right.
And I begged, please let me live to at least see my children grow up. And a man said to me as clear as day, what are you doing? You know there's no such thing as death. Right. The same guy that talks in my right ear. By the way, he's not friendly. I don't get warm and fuzzy. He's very grounded. What are you doing? You know there's no such thing as death. And I got all embarrassed. I said, oh my God, you're right. And this overwhelming feeling came over me. And I handed myself to the realm. Like, into thy hands I commenced my spirit. I just said, if I die, I die. If I live, I live. But I know in faith, everything's going to be okay. In that moment, there was a rumbling noise. And I thought it was the Rangers coming through, because it's just a walking area. It's not a driveway. Right. It's in the Marin Hills. And I pushed Moochie to the side because I thought, oh, one of the sheriff trucks is coming through. And Moochie even sat down, and Moochie was the type like, come on, let's go. And then I saw the top of the trees. There's no wind, but the top of the trees started moving like King Kong was coming through. It was sort of a roar. Wow. And something came down and boom, went right through me. And I heard as clear as day, thy will be done. And after that, I was zooming for 2 days. I couldn't eat, which tells you something right there. I thought if I touched an outlet, I'd blow it. I was zooming. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I didn't know how to explain what was happening to me. I couldn't get the smell of the earth off my hands. And my native friend said, the earth is healing. So I might have gone into a spontaneous heal right at that moment.
Wow.
And then it was so profound, but I wasn't really working the path right then and there, because after that, they had me. So if I was going in a direction I shouldn't, they would switch it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take care of my mom and dad, who both died within 4 years' time. So, and then, like I said, I was just standing in my bedroom, and that man said in my ear, you're going to start a YouTube video.
I love it.
And then I argue. Can you believe it? I'm shocked they didn't take lightning and put me down. Like, hello, Biash. I know you ain't talking back to me.
So your messages are direct. They are in your ear. I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of a story. I don't know if I've told it on here, but and I'll make it really quick. But a few years ago, me and my husband were looking for a new place to live because the apartment we were living, there were some issues with the neighbors, and we just weren't comfortable anymore. And we knew we wanted to live in a certain area, very close to where I work. And so we just looked and looked and looked. We were looking for like 4 or 5 months, and nothing felt right. And so we kind of stopped for a while. And And then one day we probably stopped looking for about a month. And one day I was at work and I just went on to like, apartments.com or whatever, and just, got a wild hair up my ass to do it. And I found this place, the place I'm in right now. And it was 4 blocks from where I work, and it was exactly what we wanted. The price was great. So called the guy, went over here, he had it opened up, and I knew as soon as I walked in, this place was for me. I was like,
Wow. Thank you, Spirit Watcher.
I know. Yeah. Thank you so much, Spirit Watcher Suzanne. I just knew that it was for me and my husband, and then he came over. He felt the same. We were moved in within that same weekend.
Wow. But you handed it over, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we were just kind of taking our hands off the wheel altogether, and I just got something that said, "Look at apartments.com." It was right there. Literally, I walk to and from work now. So
wow, that's wonderful.
About a year later, you know how people, when they pour new concrete, they'll write in the concrete like letters and stuff. So my initials are in the concrete in the back. CLC. I'm Christopher Lee Cavens. My initials, all 3 of them, are in the back. So tell me that's not.
You didn't put it there.
No. It was probably done like 20, 30 years ago. So
wow.
Tell me that I wasn't led here and I'm not supposed to be here. So
damn.
I just love it when Spirit gives you that confirmation of you are where you're supposed to be.
So did you always have this when you were little?
Not really. No. I mean,
when did it hit you? When was it? Boom.
Yeah, it was just like 2.5 years ago. And that's another thing. The person that got me into this, I was helping him out with his marketing. He's a spirit medium as well, extremely talented. And I think I told the story a little bit on your show in June, and it's a longer story, so I won't tell it today. But when we met back in 2002, it was another one of those situations where Spirit made it very clear that we were supposed to meet. There was a coincidence. I'll have to tell the story on YouTube someday. A coincidence that was like blows my mind.
Right.
And so we were supposed to meet. So Spirit was working on me back in 2002 after I was getting kicked out of the Navy for being gay. I was a mess. And so me and him met in a very like weird way in a gay bar one night in New Jersey. And anyway, we were brought together to be friends. And then all this time we helped each other with our mediumship journey.
Isn't that something? Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, everyone. You're so generous. And now we're not friends anymore, but that relationship,
it fell apart.
It did.
That's okay. Sometimes people are only meant to be in your life for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like 18, 19 years, and he's doing great, and I feel like I'm doing great. So it happened how it was supposed to happen. But yeah, there's no doubt. Spirit made it very clear. But yeah, I didn't see dead people when I was young or communicate or.
My parents were atheists. But I visited heaven when I was 8 years old and saw Jesus.
Wow.
That was profound because he scared the bejesus out of me. Because I knew he was special and I knew I needed to listen to him. But being that I was raised in a non-religious home, I couldn't tell you. I was so frightened because he was in all his glory, And I saw him again when I was a nurse. I saw him again in a dream, though. That was a dream. The other one was an out-of-body, definite met him. Because when I came back in my body, I was ice cold. Like, wow. Ice cold. Like, I was there wide awake, ice cold. So I always had something to do. But I always thought it was going to be Hollywood and Academy Awards.
There's still time.
Yeah. But I always knew people were watching me. I would sit in the classroom and I could feel them sitting there watching me. That's crazy. It was weird.
I can imagine. Well, my dear, and I know we're going to keep it short and sweet today. So maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. Did you want to answer a question or two?
Sure.
Or 3? I've got a few start here.
Yeah, you guys, it's my nephew's birthday. So I got to go get the birthday cake and stuff.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't want to stand in your way of doing that and hanging out.
Oh, it's going to be a whipped cream with chocolate and pudding in the middle. And, that's all I'm focusing on is the cake.
All right, I'm going to bring this one up from Quotessa. lives in Central Florida, extremely concerned about this hurricane season. Temps are insane for weeks now. I know, right? Lots of anxiety. So she wants to know what we might see over this.
Well, she lives in Florida. She didn't say whereabouts.
Central
I
Florida.
had a video yesterday. I did what my guides were saying, what's going to happen. And Florida's going to get hit pretty hard. Now, I've talked about Florida before. I've talked about Florida, most of the South going in the water. But unfortunately, the temperature is what? Is it 80 degrees or 78 degrees in the ocean? It's hotter in Mexico in the ocean. But what's happening is because of that heat, number one, it kills off the fishies that live in there because they can't live. Just like, birds can't live in heat for extended periods of time.
Right.
So that, and number two, the coral is dying. So what's going to happen is when the hurricane comes in, let's say it was going to filter out before it hit, it's going to get bigger because of the temperature. So whereabouts in Florida do you live, Quatasa? But here's what the guide said yesterday. 83 degrees, Unity Planet said. Here's what the guide said. They told me that listen to the messages. Listen to your weather people. If they say, this isn't looking good, go. Get away. Because those who listen will be saved. So, and pray energetically and pray for others too. We'll be doing a lot of prayer when we know hurricanes are coming. But just ask for protection and watch what happens. But the main thing is don't sit there and think, well, they say blah, blah, and I'll just sit this one out. Don't. Listen to what your guy, there's a book. I got to find his book. And he talked about these things that are happening now. I'll find it, you guys. I know if you try to buy it now on eBay, it's a couple $100. But he said the most important thing to do is to listen to your guides and to what's going on. Like I'll know before an earthquake hits here. I'll feel it right before. A lot of things don't hit me by shock. I got a terrible vertigo reading with a client one day. I was nauseous and everything. Boom, it hit me. And she said, what's going on? I said, you know what? There's a huge earthquake getting ready to happen somewhere out there. And I was sick to my stomach, and then it subsided. And I think the next day was the one in Japan.
Wow.
With the Armageddon. And that was huge. So, and also, by the by, yesterday I did that video, and I said I see in the oceans 6 to 7 point earthquakes from Alaska down to Washington and Oregon. And today, or either this morning or last night, there was a 7.5 in Alaska in the ocean.
Wow.
I also said I see hurricane hitting, not necessarily hitting Hawaii, but it's close to Hawaii. Apparently, there's a category 2 heading down.
Listen, everybody listen. Yeah, and they say Quatessa lives in Orlando area.
Oh, you're safer there, girlfriend.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a musician, and they bought a house actually on the beach, but I got to be honest with you. He's actually going to be okay, and he's near Orlando. That area is going to be safer. So don't worry. It's the ones more south.
I get more energy around the temperatures, and I know you had said that you're feeling like it affects the fish, and I was getting that there's actually going to be some severe news about wildlife being affected by these temperatures.
It's just terrible.
So I think that's what's going to be like the bigger catastrophe, and maybe in that specific area. But I'm not getting a lot of information or energies around there being a hurricane that's so bad that where you have to evacuate. But I am also getting that sensation of definitely keep your antennas up.
I also feel in the Gulf of Mexico and Mexico.
Yeah.
So, I see a good size one hitting Florida. I'm sorry. I see a good size one. But I see as people heed, like she doesn't have to worry. She's in Orlando. But people heed to the warning and get out of the way. It's going to save a lot of lives. But listen, this Ron DeSatan, he's not helping anybody. They are falling apart over there.
He's a mess.
And, there's no insurance for people's homes. People are saying it's just so expensive. We are so lucky we're in California.
I agree.
President will do everything he can to help even the red states. He will help any way he can.
All right. Thank you, Quiltessa. We'll put one or two more here. Oh, this is interesting. Have you seen this movie, or do you know anything
No,
about
I haven't
this movie?
seen it.
I'm kind of interested to see it. They say it's kind of a swipe at maybe liberals, but I don't. I guess
I
I'll
don't know. I haven't seen it.
So I think about.
I did see Mission Impossible last night.
How was
with
it?
my son. I have to admit, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but he's a good actor. I will tell you that movie captivated. It was 2.5 hours long. It captivated me from the beginning to the end. It flew by. Constant action,
Yeah.
which is what I like. Not a lot of chit chat.
I love it.
So I highly recommend it if you're looking for, get out of the heat and just want to go to the movies. Although every time I go to the movies, I look at the exits and figure out how we'll get out,
Did you ever see him in the Maverick, the Top Gun movie?
Yes. I'm not a Maverick fan.
I loved it.
I'm not the first one I remember because my dear friend played drums for Kenny Loggins. So, the music is what I liked, but that was good. But this is, and you know what else I loved him in was World of War. I love that movie.
War of the World, yeah, that was good too. So yeah, I haven't seen this movie, but I would think I'd like to see it. I think it's about like child trafficking or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't know where it would be playing. Right. Yeah, and Top Gun is a lot of people love Top Gun. You might not like Mission Impossible, but I loved it.
I'll check it out. It sounds fun. All right. So Leah says, "What do my guides say about general health?" Do you have any hits on that, Linda?
Well, I feel like Leah is a little bit over focused sometimes. Very worried. She might have had something that she's dealing with, or has something she's dealing with. They're telling me to tell her to breathe and get out of her own way. And she has a purpose, and she has longer to stay here. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I got something similar in the way that I think a lot of it is anxiety around. It's almost like maybe things that she's seen in the family, or she's seen friends and family go through, and and Leah, if you can understand this, like it's something you're kind of concerned as an energy you're going to experience. So I feel like that's almost more of what you're dealing with rather than the actual, health situation. So I don't get a lot of, anything that I'm feeling called to tell you about, other than some anxiety that you're dealing with just around worry.
Yeah.
So, and that's usually about as far as I go with the health. I think I said this on your show last time, is I don't diagnose, I don't go into that, but if I'm brought to an area or a sensitivity, I'll, definitely bring it up.
Entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll let you go get that cake.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Got to head down to Safeway Bakery is actually good if you order cakes.
Okay, this is maybe just like your thoughts around this. Would you ever start a reading telling the customer to get their affairs in order and other devastating medical prediction? I know, right? Happened to a friend who was devastated. Yeah, I think ethically this is just a no go.
It's a no. It's not for us to determine. Now listen, I've seen like maybe famous people. I used to announce who they were, and then I said, "Nah, you can't even do that." I've seen people, I've read people that I know that aren't going to live much longer, but I would never, ever, because they have free will and they could change that however they want.
Yeah, it's kind of a do no harm clause that I have with myself. It's like, and I'm always very careful about even giving advice to people.
Well, we're not doctors, and we got no beeswax telling people.
Yeah. So.
And I get a lot of people that their parents are dying and suffering. They really want to know when they're going to go. And sometimes if they're really bad Alzheimer's and coma, I might see something. But mostly it's really not ethical for us to do that.
Yeah. I've given information. I've never said like, okay, this is the date or this is the month or number of years. You know, that's not usually where I go with it. But if I have information about somebody that's older, that's already dealing with some things, I might have some dates or some times of, okay, this is when we start worrying about some medical things or start making some
Right.
preparations.
Right.
To
And the
give
other
kind
thing,
of
I've had people
guidance.
dying, stage
Yeah.
4 cancer, and say to me, when is this going to be over? But here's the deal, and this is what my guys always say. The thing is, there is no such thing as death.
That is true.
Actually, dying is easier than birth. It's really weird. But if you could smell or taste the beauty that's over there, people wouldn't even give it a second thought. Oh, I get to go home. Cool. You know, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah. That's a wonderful message. So on that, we'll leave it right there.
Okay, my friend.
Linda, I want to thank you so much for coming on for a little chit chat and saying hi to everyone. So thank you again.
Thank you. Somebody said in here, I got a funny book title. It's a nothing burger.
You say that a lot. You should. Oh my God.
I'll probably bring it up. I'll probably say how I say on the show, it's a nothing burger.
I love it. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your the party.
Stay safe.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.